You may believe that there are a lot of things to worry about now that this pandemic has covered the globe. If you're like most people, you're currently out of work and you may be wondering how you're going to make ends meet. If you're one of the essential workers tasked with keeping us safe during this time, you may be worried about how you're going to keep yourself and your loved ones protected. All of these reasons to worry may make you feel overwhelmed and out of sorts, but anxiety, worry, and panic only make the situation more stressful. It's time to put the brakes on worry and step into the expansive and uplifting energy of joy. Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, here with you on Angel Heart Radio. And if you're ready to stop worrying and start feeling joyful, then stay with me. Because when we come back, Archangel Jophiel is going to help uplift and support us so that we can stay safely in the high vibration of joy.
Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice, nor your own sound judgment. In truth, nothing can dim your magnificence. You are a divine spark, a universal light. You are here on purpose. You are part of a divine plan, and it's our joy to support you. We're here to celebrate you. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com. Great news, everyone. Angel Heart Radio is now live streaming on our Facebook page, and we have a fully searchable, brilliant podcast platform for you at AngelHeartListen.com. Put the power of the spiritual realm to work in your life with Marcia Martin on Angel Heart Radio starts now.
So we've got a real opportunity to create lasting change. Each and every one of us have been given this incredible gift. It's an opportunity to choose love instead of fear. We're a worldwide population. We are a world economy. And we must join together to share the love that's in our hearts instead of the fear that our minds may be creating. So take this time. This is your opportunity to experience oneness with all, to let go of petty differences and prejudices that may have seemed vitally important. Don't even spend your time wondering why so-and-so feels the way they do. Understand that they feel that because that's where they are energetically, mentally, spiritually. Allow people to be who they are, and you rise up and get right there into that high place of joy and invite others to join you in this high place. That's the most important work that you can do right now. Instead of trying to tell people how to do it better, be the example. Be the joy in the room. Let them ask you, how are you managing to stay loving, kind, compassionate, and joyful during this time? And then introduce them to the incredible help of the angels. Remember to always make sure that everyone knows that the angels do not discriminate. They help everyone. Even when we're not aware that they are there, they continue to help us. So make sure that you spend this time really being the love in the room. And to do that, I want to share with you two different examples of what I have experienced is happening. One is going to be a way that we're spreading fear, and the other one is a way that we're spreading love. And I want you to feel how each one of these feels so that you will be better at choosing love. Even though most of us have grown up within a culture that celebrates fear and encourages fear-based thinking, we can learn a new way to be. So, I want to encourage you all to start adopting a don't tell policy. Now, what in the world am I talking about? I want you not to pass on any kind of gossip. If you can't verify it as truth, then don't share it. The reason that I'm asking this is because I was starting to get a lot of alarming messages, emails, and private messaging from people saying, "Oh my gosh, did you hear?" And they would go on about, in one case, it was a 17-year-old, I believe it was male, a 17-year-old male who had supposedly died of this flu. And of course, all of the people that were contacting me were saying, nobody is safe. How am I going to keep my family safe? What should we do? This virus is taking over the world. But I had to say to them, first of all, do you know this person? Do you know them at all? Have you ever interacted with them? The answer was always no. They had had no interaction with this individual. Do you know their health? Do you know what kind of condition they were truly in? No, because they didn't know them. They had no accurate information about whether this particular individual had previous health problems, or perhaps they had undiagnosed health problems. So unless you are the attending physician, a parent, or someone who knows this child's health intimately, or perhaps you are the one doing the autopsy, I don't really believe that you have factual information about this person. You don't know why they chose to transition at this time. The only thing that you know is that they did choose to transition. So let's remember that. No one is asked to leave the earth or taken away at a time that is not of their choosing. God does not reach down and just pluck you out of your physical body because they think that you've been here long enough. You decide when you enter and when you exit. So let's put to bed that fear about not being able to control whether or not you die from this virus. So that's our example of how you could be inadvertently spreading fear. If you are sharing about this young man who chose to use the virus as a way to transition, and you don't know any of the factual information about this gentleman, then you may inadvertently be sharing fear about the virus. Now, I want to introduce you to another person. Her name is Virginia, and I met her yesterday when I was checking out at the grocery store. Now, the grocery store that used to be sort of a place of social interaction and generally a lot of people, in at least where I live, has been cut down to 10 people in at a time, waiting in line 6 feet apart, in a line, waiting to go in so that we don't exceed more than 10 people in the grocery store at a time. Now, obviously, if you are the person who is ringing up the groceries, You're going to meet some people that are extremely stressful, fear-filled, and perhaps even angry about this virus. So I asked her how she was doing. I thanked her for her service and asked her how she was doing. And she said, it's kind of sad to me to see that this is beginning to tear us apart. I'm seeing greed and I'm seeing hoarding and a lot of different behaviors that aren't so great. And it's kind of upsetting me that this thing that could bring us closer together seems to be tearing us further apart. And I shared with her a little bit about the work that I do in the angels. And she said, my son goes to Catholic school and his principal sent out a little memo saying, and what are you doing to help others cope with this situation? What are you doing personally and how are you helping others move through this in a better way? And she said, I thought about that and I realized, well, I'm certainly praying more and I am being more patient. I am really working every day to understand that this unusual time can cause people to be short-tempered and to feel really uneasy. So I am doing everything in my power to be even more patient than usual. Virginia is my new hero. I thanked her for being an example of the way every single person should be behaving during this virus. It's not the virus that's really hurting us. It's our attitude. And that's what we're going to use the angels to help us with today. We've got to get past this pity. Poor me. Oh my, this is terrible. Why did this happen? Get out of that ego-based fear scenario and get into the place where you can say, I am so grateful that the earth is healing. Even though it saddens me that many people are choosing this time to make their transition, I am grateful that those who are choosing to stay are stepping into a more cooperative energy. They're beginning to learn the value of love and why it's so important that we speak to each other from a place of love instead of fear. Be Virginia. Become more patient. Spend more time in the presence of God. Allow the unconditional love that comes pouring forth from God to wash over you, into you, and then through you. Once you are filled up, you will be overflowing. Give from your overflow of joy, of love, of compassion, and of peace. That's the most important thing that you can do for yourself and everyone else. And don't forget to be absolutely grateful for the healing of the earth that's able to happen. Please don't disrespect those who chose to transition at this time. They felt that they had accomplished everything they needed to accomplish in this lifetime, and so they chose to move on. They are not weaker than you. They are not stupid, foolish, or defective in any way. They simply felt that they had completed their journey and chose to move on. So those of us who are choosing to stay need to get serious about what we're sharing with the world. We see that when we share love, when we stop polluting and hurting and defiling, healing takes place almost instantaneously. So let's take a look at what worry can do and may be doing in your life. And then let's start examining some different avenues that can help you step away from worry and fear and into the truth of who you are. And that is that you are always safe and loved. Your physical body may choose to no longer support you. You may feel that you have come to the end of this journey and your physical body is incapable of supporting you. You, the authentic you, will gain knowledge from this journey, but you will not receive the damage or the decay that the physical body could receive. It's absolutely impossible. So you may transition from one form to the next. All of us will at some point. However, you will not be hurt. You will never leave the space of love. And you are never in a dangerous situation. So, let's take a look at worry and all that it's doing for you or to you. And then let's look at a way that we can switch that worry around. Now, earlier today, I had a very interesting email, and I'm going to, without mentioning the name, I'm going to share with you a little bit from that email. Hang on while technology and I are such good friends. Okay, so this is a woman who was recently on a cruise ship. She works on a cruise ship. So this is not even a cruise that she took for fun. She is on a cruise ship. And when she got back on land, she learned that people who were on the ship had gotten the virus. She's now waiting for the 14-day period. But like all of us, she's feeling a little scared about what she can do to keep herself safe. So, this is when we need to look at what worry will and will not do for us. The first thing we need to know is that worry is a subtle form of fear. So this woman who was working on the cruise ship and is now feeling afraid or worried about what outcome she's going to receive at the end of 14 days is really giving in to fear. The other thing we need to remember is worry is an emotion-based vibration. Emotion speeds up manifestation. So if she were able to say, oh gosh, and just be really logical, if she were able to say, well, okay, I was working on that cruise ship and people on the cruise ship got the virus. Well, okay, that's a fact. Can't change that. I can change my reaction. If she were to do that, she would be staying in a purely intellectual discussion and look at this. And she would not be activating the virus through law of attraction. The minute she steps into a place where she begins attaching worry, oh no, what am I going to do? I've got 14 days. What's going to happen? 14 days before I even know? What if I'm going to die? Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. If she steps into that place, and you may look at that and say, hey, she's got every right to stay there or step into that place. And that can be true. However, we need to understand that when you do that, when you step into the worry, fear-based place, you have stepped out of alignment. You're no longer in alignment with what the divine want you to receive, and you are stepping into the increased activation of the law of attraction, and law of attraction can only bring you more of what you already are thinking about. So, she is stepping out of her safe place when she steps into worry and into the place where law of attraction is speeded up, it's being activated, and the only thing that law of attraction would be able to bring to her is more worry about the virus and possibly the virus itself. Because like attracts like. And when we are in that place of worry, we're in our negative energetic space. Any kind of illness, dis-ease, is a negative vibration. It's a lower vibration. And so what we have basically done is jump in the same swimming pool with the virus when we start thinking negatively. So we're lowering our vibration, which lowers our immune system. We're activating law of attraction by getting emotionally attached to the possibility that this virus can become attached to you. And you've stepped out of alignment with the most incredible healing energy of all. You're absolutely stirring up the perfect mix of stuff that you don't want to receive and making sure that you're drinking it throughout the day. That's what worry does. It brings unwanted things faster. You may even believe that you're being proactive. You may even believe that you're defending yourself against further harm because you're really actively trying to push away the virus. But that's not the way law of attraction works. Law of attraction attaches to whatever we're thinking about and brings us more of the same. And if we are thinking about negative things, then we are actively lowering our vibration. We are making ourselves a match to lower vibrational products, and we are eliminating that source of healing, which is being in alignment with the divine, because we've stepped out of our high place of love, joy, and peace, and we're taking the elevator down into the basement where that virus is already hanging out. The virus is not doing anything. It's not changing its makeup. It started negative as a lower life form, a lower energetic form, and it's continuing as a lower energetic form. The more we focus on it, the more it may be able to expand its lower vibrational signature. But it is not evolving into a higher, lighter, love-based product. So if you evolve, you who have a consciousness and can think through things and make good decisions, if you evolve, you're placing yourself out of reach of the virus. Now, this doesn't mean that you will never contract an illness or that you will never contract the virus. It simply means that if you do, your immune system will be so incredibly strong that you will be able to deal with this just like you deal with all of the other germs that you come in contact with and all of the other viruses. Or if you have decided that you've completed your life journey, then you may use this virus as a way to return to the energetic realm. Whatever you decide, it's your choice, and there's no wrong decision. You are always right. If you choose to stay in the high place, You're going to be covering yourself with the energy of joy. If you choose to descend into the state of worry and fear, then you're going to experience what it's like when you have lowered your vibration. And hopefully this will encourage you to get back into a high place where you can feel good. The only way to defeat fear is to raise your vibration. You got to disconnect from the thing that's causing you to be afraid or to worry. Now, I know that kind of sounds, well, that's thanks for nothing. That's easy. In just a minute, we're going to actively do an exercise with the angels, and Archangel Jophiel is the presence that has chosen to come forward because Archangel Jophiel is so filled with joy. And because love and fear cannot coexist since they're polar opposites, think of it the same thing as worry and joy. They can't coexist. When you're really joyful, you got to descend down the ladder into hell before you can worry. So we're going to go over this in just a minute. But if you're sitting at home and you're feeling really overwhelmed because worry just seems to be all that you can process right now, I want you to call me. I want the angels to help you right this minute. So 347-202-0232 will put you into the show, and the angels are waiting to help you. If you're calling from outside the U.S., then you have to add a 1. 347-202-0232. Remember, worry is never going to solve the problem. It will help create more problems, but it won't solve any of the problems. Because this is what worry is doing. When you begin worrying, you're taking yourself away from the present moment. So let's use the example of the woman who was on the cruise ship. She is not staying here in the present moment saying, well, gosh, you know what? I feel great right now. I have some money in my pocket because I was working, and I'm just going to stay in my high place of joy and feel good. Instead, she's projecting out 14 days. She's living in fear of the virus each one of those days. And because she's doing that, she's, without even realizing it, lowering her immune system while she activates law of attraction to bring her more fear or bring her something to be afraid about or worried about, and possibly putting her in the path of the virus. Just because people were on the ship with the virus doesn't mean, A, that she was exposed, B, that her immune system is incapable of overcoming this. But when you get out ahead of where you are right now, you start spinning a whole lot of what-if scenarios. And generally, we don't spin good what-if scenarios. We don't say, oh, what if I just get delighted by everything that happens? We usually say to ourselves things like, what if something bad happens? What if I get the virus? What if I can't work? What if my children get sick? What if? And we forget that right now, right in this present moment, everything is okay. You are healthy. You are well. And you can choose joy. So let's remember, the first thing when we start worrying is to bring our attention back from the future into this present moment. Really get yourself grounded in this moment, in what is happening right this minute. If you discover that you are sick, take appropriate action. Drink plenty of fluids. Eat nourishing food. Get plenty of rest. And keep your vibration high. Love your body through it. Thank you, body, for being such an efficient worker and knowing how to combat this virus. Connect with the divine. Get in alignment with the greatest healing energy ever. And remember to keep yourself out of the space of fear, out of no man's land, at that place that may never come to be. Don't ignore the peace of the present in order to spin a crazy, disastrous future. Sometimes we get obsessed with creating these things that aren't here now and that may never come, instead of recognizing that this is time that we could have spent in a beautiful state of peace and joy, sharing love with others, just like Virginia, the clerk at the store, who's choosing to pray and to be more patient and to share love and to smile with everybody that comes through the line. She prevented herself from getting out into what if. She brought herself right back to this moment and said, what can I do to be of service to myself and others? And when you live in the present moment, you are in the presence of the divine. That means you are actively receiving angelic assistance. Now, it is true that the angels are with us all of the time. However, in order to really be aware of their presence and really make good active use of their assistance, you have to be in the present because that's where they are. And you have to keep your vibration high because they don't occupy the negative registers and they will not lower their vibration for you. This is not because they don't like you. It's not because they are extremely egotistical. This is because they are under the province of the divine. And God knows the best place for you, the place where you can receive the desires of your heart, is in the high vibration of love, joy, and peace. So they ask you to come where the answers are, instead of trying to dilute themselves by going to where you are and being ineffective. Climb the ladder of joy. You will find all of heaven is waiting there for you. You've got to remember that the law of attraction is like being on a treadmill. Whatever you attach to, whatever thought prominence in your mind, it's going to keep coming toward you. But it's going to get bigger and bigger until you decide to get off the treadmill. Now, the only reason that you would want to get off the treadmill is if you're on the treadmill of fear, worry, anxiety, stress, trauma. If you're on the love treadmill, just keep going. You are doing perfectly. And I'm so proud of you. It's amazing that you've been able to reach down deep inside of yourself and find that peaceful center and just stay there. So congratulations. Your work will be to share that peaceful place with others. Now, let's say that you haven't gotten there yet. Well, why don't you just stop worrying? Why don't you just get off that treadmill? Don't you want your life to be better? We have to be gentle, be understanding. Give yourself the compassion that you may never have received from the outside world. We didn't grow up in a culture that encouraged us to be present. We also didn't grow up in a time when positive thinking was taught from the cradle. We're just getting there now. And this newest generation is certainly benefiting from that. So don't be harsh or critical with yourself. Instead, recognize that you can begin today, and through the blessing of the energetic realm, you can undo years and years and years of backward thinking in an instant. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to unwind everything that has been occurring up until now? How can you just turn off that tap? Well, the first thing is you're going to have to be really mindful. And in the beginning, expect that it's going to feel like an overwhelming task. Be present for as long as you can each time. But please stay out of judgment. If you can hold your attention on this moment for 2 seconds in the beginning, I want you to give yourself the biggest high five possible. That's amazing. Call on the angels. Ask them to help you learn how to be present in this moment. Recognize that you aren't taught this. This may not be your normal way of behaving. And just allow yourself to let go of that behavior and of that awkwardness. Just take that whatever time is available to you in this present moment and be mindful right now and hold that state of attentiveness for as long as you can. That's your first step. Stopping the mind from wandering from thing to thing, from place to place, with no direction. What you want to begin doing and to continue to do is remember that you're in charge of your thoughts. There is no outside force. There is no malevolent being that is sending thunderbolts down upon you so that you are just not able to get things right. That's not true. We sometimes like to believe it's true because then we're not responsible. But it's time for us to step up and be responsible. You have so much power within you, but you need to learn how to use it. And being mindful is that first step. Taking responsibility for your thoughts is the second step. And now we're going to make it even easier because we're going to give your mind something to do. Remember, the mind loves to be active. It's used to being active. It's also used to being out of control. So instead of telling yourself, I'm just going to sit here and think of nothing, which is pretty impossible, give your mind something to do. And something easy is to concentrate on the breath. Have your mind pay attention to the rhythm. Have your mind remind you to breathe deeply and regularly. Really pay attention to how you're able to control the inhalation and the exhalation of your breath. Get really caught up in your breathing, and that gives the mind something to do, which it needs until you are really good at tuning in to that divine connection and getting into that divine point of channel. You want to get on top of it by giving the mind something to do. So, while the mind is occupied, that means the heart, which holds the answers, is going to be able to share with you more easily. Often, with the mind chattering away, it can be difficult to hear and then respond to the gentle promptings of the heart. So, now, you are paying attention to this moment. You have agreed to bring yourself into the present. You're recognizing and taking responsibility for the thoughts that you're thinking. You are concentrating on the breathing so that you've given your mind something to do as you open yourself to the wisdom of the heart. Now, I want you to take it one step further and step into the place of gratitude for everything that you have in this present moment. But here's something that you must be aware of. Gratitude, that which you are sincerely grateful for, doesn't necessarily have to have a large material value, a big price tag. It can be, I'm grateful for Virginia, who shared her wisdom with me at the grocery store. I'm grateful for the sunshine, for the flowers that are blooming, for the birds that are all around. I'm grateful for my family, for the food that's in my refrigerator. There are many things that you can be grateful for in this moment that may appear to have no material value at all. Be grateful for them anyway. Just when you begin expressing gratitude, please make sure it's sincere. Don't try to make something awful into something that you are grateful for. That isn't going to work. There will be an energetic disconnect, and you will not be able to use the momentum that gratitude gives you. So instead of, oh, I'm so grateful that I'm stuck at home, turn that around. I am grateful that by sheltering in place, I am making myself less at risk for coming in contact with this virus. Or I'm grateful that by sheltering in place, I am able to get to some of the projects that I may have been putting off because I had too much to do at work. Or I'm grateful that I'm getting to do something that I've always wanted to do, but never was able to find the time. Be sincere in your gratitude. When you work with the divine, you have to bring your sincerity to the table. Leave all begrudging attitudes in another place. Let go of the fear and let go of the worry. Although, when you approach the divine, if you are worried, share that with them. Be honest. Learn to be honest in your communication. Honesty is the thing that is going to change and improve your situation the most. Because when you're honest with what you are feeling, you will be able to find solutions that will help you move from that place. When you're trying to hide from the thing that is causing you pain, you're just locking yourself in the same room with it, but you're pretending that it's not there. So I want you to be really, really present with, okay, gee, God, I could really use your help. I am really having a difficult time moving away from this state of worry. Let's use our cruise ship worker as an example. Wow, God, I really need your help. I was on a cruise ship with people that have this coronavirus, and I'm scared. It's really scary for me to think what might happen. Help me, God. Please help me now to return to this present moment where I can experience well-being. Please help me to let go of these fears and this worry. Help me to find ways to be joyful and grateful for all that I am experiencing in this moment. Do you notice how your chest is expanding as you are honest and asking for help? The only way that you could undo that is to say, thank you, God, for helping me with this. Amen. And then immediately turning your attention onto, oh my gosh, I might get the virus. It was your choice to step out of that sacred place of prayer, that place where you were united with God, and step right back into worry. Please take responsibility for your thoughts. You cannot correct the situation if you are being a ball in the what's that game where you with the flippers? I can't think of it. Pinball machine. If you're trying to allow your thoughts to be the ball in the pinball machine in that game, then you don't want help. You're not open to receiving help. You're not doing anything to promote your own well-being. You're enmeshed in negativity, and you're doing your best to stay there. I want you to do your best to step out of that negative place. So, remind yourself all that you do have. Off of I'm not working or I was exposed to the virus, and on to the fact I'm healthy. And there are many ways in which I will be supported as this moves forward. Now, we already know here in the U.S. that the government has placed relief packages into operation. So worrying about how you're going to pay your bills when you know that some relief is coming is not a good example of controlling your thoughts. You might have to budget. It may not be the income that you believe you desire, that you deserve. And that's okay, and I understand that. But be grateful for what you are receiving, because it will open you up to receiving more. Now we have a caller from 434, and I want to welcome you. And just so that you know, I need something to call you, but it doesn't have to be your given name because we are in a public space. So what would you like me to call you, and how can the angels help you today?
Spark.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Sparks.
Sparks?
Yeah.
Okay. And how can the angels help you today?
Wondering if I'm going to be okay as far as my health and everything.
Okay. So here's what you need to do. The angels are absolutely certain that you will be okay. However, you are in charge of your well-being. They can assist you, but your free will is going to trump absolutely everything.
Okay.
So what you need to do is step out of the place where you are fearful and worried and into the place where the angels are able to support you and your well-being. So the questions or the statement that you need to begin sharing with yourself is, I'm healthy. I feel great. I love the fact that my immune system operates without my conscious control. I am always eating healthy foods, and I am supporting my body in all the ways that I know how to do so. Now I'm asking you, angels, to support me energetically. Bring to me thoughts of well-being. Help me see all the good things that are here with me right now.
Okay.
And if you're finding that you're overwhelmed, you might have to take a break from social media or go in places where fear is not being spread. If you're on Facebook, join my group, Healing Hearts. We are sharing only love and only the truth, which is how powerful we are as beings. So if you're receiving a lot of messages about everything that's wrong throughout your social media experience or from your neighbors or whomever you're speaking with, give yourself a break from them and fill up on supportive energies and supportive information. When I scan your body with the help of the angels, I see you glowing green with health. But I also see that your thoughts can divert into the negative, into the worry, into the anxiety. And if you continue down that path, you will be calling to yourself something negative because we always make ourselves right. So if you keep thinking, I have a high chance that I'm going to get sick, you'll get sick with something. You will demand that what you believe to be true comes into your physical awareness. We always make ourselves right. So I want you just to bathe your mind in feelings of well-being. Why don't we do that together right now? Just ask that you close your eyes and just step out of your current space and into this energetic space that I'm creating for all of you who are listening and for you, Sparks. Just step into that place of well-being. And now allow the energy of Archangel Jophiel. Allow the unconditional love of the divine. Allow the healing energy of Archangel Raphael to come down through your higher self point and bathe you in the energy of well-being. And as you are staying in this place of wellness, accept from me now, from my heart to yours, the energy of unconditional love, the energy of peace, joy, love, the energy that tells you you are well, you are loved, you are protected. Just allow that energy, that truth, that state of being to flow through me into you and directly from God through your higher self point directly into your heart. Placing your hands over your heart Allow this energy of well-being to spread throughout your body. Receive it. Embrace it. Know that this energy is available to you whenever you need it. That the angels are as close as your next breath. And all you need to do is open your heart and receive. And now we have another caller. So I want to thank you so much for bringing forth that energy of well-being. This is the way that we serve each other. I'm sending you a big hug. Lots of love.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And now we have a caller from 951.
Hi, Marcia.
There.
It's Nathaniel.
Hi, Nathaniel. And how are you doing today? How are you raising your vibration?
Oh, I'm just wonderful. I'm just thinking about all the positive things and not letting all the trap up. I saw some guy, I know it's all hearsay, but there's this one guy that's selling gold, and I heard you talking earlier about everybody, and he's saying, well, they can't get away, and he was mad, and he's selling survival kits and, all kinds of stuff, and just, seems like he's almost praying for the worst,
And you know what?
He's going to get it, maybe. He may get it.
He might be. We're going to allow everyone to be in the place where they feel most comfortable. We're going to encourage everyone to join us in our high place of love, joy, and peace, but we cannot do this work by forcing people. Yeah. We just have to encourage them to join us in the high place, but we need to allow them to be in the place that is for their highest good, even if it means in a place of negativity. You offer your joy, but if they don't want to accept it, cover them in a blanket of pink and gold light, which is just unconditional love, and walk away, knowing that when they are ready, there will be another person who may be able to lead them into the high place of love, joy, and peace. But please, don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into the whole survival kit mentality, because it puts you on the vibration of fear, that low vibration, and that opens you up to all sorts of things that you'd really rather not deal with. So.
Yeah, it sure does. It seems like, some people are, he was saying this is going to go on all year and stuff, and I don't want to even think about that. He has a lot of followers or whatever, but
okay.
It's just he kind of has a thing because he's selling gold and silver, and saying the dollar's going to dump, and then he's selling survival kits, so he kind of has an invested interest into, put fear and panic into people, and it's all hearsay evidence. It's not evidence or truth at all. It's all hearsay. And
exactly.
I think we're really over the worst of it now, and people are going to be getting better. It may not be all out of our system by Easter, but it's by Mother's Day, I think it's going to be all history. And it's really on the decline now. We've been over the worst of it, I think, and it's just going to get better and better.
One thing I can share with you is CNN is reporting that China has recovered and they are back working. Now, The other thing that I want you to keep in mind, because these kinds of people are going to continue to attract followers and live their life the way they choose. But the thing you just need to say to yourself is, gosh, has he experienced the future? Has he somehow been able to project ahead to the future and know what's going to happen? He doesn't have any more information than you do. He's merely creating a scenario that for whatever reason feels good to him, and he's sharing it with other people. It's up to you to decide what feels good to you. Now, as awakened beings, we have a responsibility to share the joy, the love, and the peace that comes from keeping a high vibrational space. People don't have to accept it, but I do ask that every awakened being step into a leadership role at this time by just being a emissary of joy. You don't have to lead anyone, just lead by example. You don't have to get out in front and make speeches. Just be a joyful being and show other people how great life can be when you choose joy instead of worry. So, Nathaniel, I want to thank you. We are out of time. And so, everyone, if you were really, really, really having a difficult time with fear, I have a wonderful class. It's called How to Defeat the Demon of Fear. And I got to be honest with you, I used to spend quite a bit of time being afraid. So, if that's you and you don't seem to be able to use what I've already shared with you to step out of fear, this course contains techniques that I channeled from the angels that I have used in my own life, and they have helped me overcome that fearful state. Now, I live in a state of joy, and I enjoy every moment of my life, but that's not the way it used to be. And as always, if you feel that you need really in-depth help, you can either schedule to work with me in a short angel session, or we can go even deeper. You can work with me personally. There are always answers. There is always help. Visit my website, marciamartinthehearthealer.com, Marcia spelled Marcia, or shorten it, mmhearthealer.com, and there you will see all of the help that's available to you. It's so important to me that you feel that, or that you know that you are always safe and loved. So please reach out in whatever way feels best to you and get the help that you need. And until next week, I'm sending you all my love.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests, and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.